I first heard about the Foundry, the work of Steve Mathias, almost a decade ago, as he was starting to work on the problem of inner city mental health. And he approached the foundation to start to find some seed money. What was so engaging was the fact that this bright young clinician had a really exciting and different way of thinking about a fairly intractable problem of dealing with youth with mental health issues.
I think what made it possible to launch this program from St. Paul's Hospital was the fact that we were seeing so many young people coming through the emergency room with mental health or substance use needs. We had for years talked about every door is the right door. But what we knew from youth and their families was that that really wasn't the care experience that they had.
Besides the fact that people didn't know where to go, they didn't know where to seek help, it's kind of hard to be like, you know what, I'm really struggling and I want to get help right now. Well, that's great, but there's a 6-month waiting list before you can get help. So as a youth, you're like, well, I have to feel terrible. I have to feel depressed or anxious and just feel exhausted for the next 6 months before I can actually get help. Foundry has created an environment where people can come in and say, I need help. I don't know where to start, but I'm here.
Once we opened the first center and people were able to see it, and they heard the experiences of young people who had come through, it really, I think, stimulated the imagination of what this could look like if we had centers around the province.
Our family foundation started because of the death of my oldest brother, Graham. He suffered from schizophrenia and passed away. He was in his early 20s, and since then our family has been committed to trying to improve mental health care for young people in Canada. We've seen the Inner City Youth Mental Health Program and Foundry grow from an early stage pilot project to where it is today, where we see clarity that this is the way forward. This is the system of care for BC in the future, and this is the way that young people want to access services in their community. I've visited quite a few of the sites, and it just strikes me that these are the beating heart of service provision in their communities. And I can see it, the looks in the eyes of young people coming in through the door, feeling the respect that they get in coming to a really well-built, well-thought-out site built for their needs.
This program is incredibly exciting. It's exciting first and foremost because it means better outcomes for youth with mental health issues. And when you can create that with a whole new model of care, it's magic. Steve in the early days needed just a little bit of money to get it going. And then success, as often happens, then requires more to move it to the next stage. And all the way through the whole initiative, donors have stepped up to help move the initiative to the next stage. In short, thank you. Without that, the Foundry isn't what it is today.
This initiative, I could say, is the most meaningful thing I've ever been involved in, and the foundation has really driven the fundraising for this program. It's truly been an honor to be a part of this community of funders and come together and be able to achieve something great.
We couldn't have done this without the donors who came forward and understood, particularly early on, that there were a lot of well-intentioned folks out there. There were a lot of well-intentioned organizations as well as government officials who wanted to do something, and that they took a chance. And that chance has meant the world to now thousands of young people in this province. And I hope that the donors can look back on this moment in time and in future moments and recognize that they had a really big part to play in what we're now seeing in terms of the transformation of care in our province.
It's giving people a starting point and a place to actually enter the system. Walking in and just having a sigh of relief, like, I will be okay.